we go, using your environment. Cyril's back flipping to get out of the way. Nice kick. Oh, double team action. All right.
I play a lot of hero, but I'm not a hero. I play a few bad guys, but I'm not a bad guy.
The dragon, a secret war, and fight its biggest battle.
You're safe with us. Welcome to Paris, Johnny.
All right, Kiss of the Dragon, starring Jet Li and Bridget Fonda. Yeah, besides being an odd pair at best, but then again, maybe Jet's outing with Aaliyah was more so, and Romeo Must Die.
Trisha, I can't have you hanging with Jews, boy.
What the hell were you doing in there? We're in the middle of a damn war.
This movie has come to be appreciated a lot more over the years, and just like the title says, it's truly a hidden gem to me. Released in 2001, Kiss of the Dragon, directed by Chris Nahon.
I just let him finish when he started. I let go of the camera, and Jet started to fight the guy, and the guy was maybe 20 centimeters taller than him, and a few kilos also, and he grabbed him, and the guy fly.
But more importantly and noteworthy, fight choreography, done by the late great Cory Yuen and his team.
2 years ago, Cory and I started working together. I talk about my idea, he talked about his idea, so we discussed first. I will bring the whole crew come in, like a whole team.
Of course, at this point, Jet Li wasn't quite the household name yet. He had kicked off his American debut, as you guys know, in the Lethal Weapon series, Lethal Weapon 4 to be exact, obviously with Danny Glover and Mel Gibson.
I'm too old for this shit.
Yep, definitely when they were too old for that shit. If you watch the fourth one, you'll know what I mean. Shout out to that ending fight, though. It was a climactic one, and maybe we'll eventually break down that fight as well. If you guys like this series, you can let me know in the comments. He then went on to star in the aforementioned Romeo Must Die with Aaliyah, R.I.P. Baby Girl. Wow, that was like 25 years ago, 2000. And to think this movie we're talking about right now, 2001, so 24 years ago. So yeah, some time has passed. I remember I was living in Florida when I first saw this movie, and it was amazing. I saw it in theaters, as a matter of fact. And if I remember, it was right before the summer of 2001. I have to look up the exact release date. And of course, fun fact, as we moved into the 2000s, we almost got to see Jet star in Ang Lee's classic 2000 movie, better yet, his Academy Award-winning classic movie. Put some respect on that name, right? Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. But as we know, Chow Yun-fat and Michelle Yeoh starred in it. Jet Li was up at one point for the starring role of Li Mubai in that movie, but he passed. So we got Chow Yun-fat playing that role. And it's interesting because I remember asking Bay Logan at one point who he thought would have been the better choice for the movie, playing the lead role of Li Mubai.
I think it could have been as good, because I think that by that point, Chow Yun-fat, obviously worked really hard on the action, but was a super accomplished screen actor. In my view, Jet Li comes back. He was always a competent leading man. He came back from Danny the Dog, and he did Fearless. Suddenly, he was an amazing actor.
Yeah.
Working with Morgan Freeman, working with Bob Hoskins, had given him a push. And he came back from doing that movie, and he's at another level.
Definitely would have been a different portrayal. But on to the making of Kiss of the Dragon. It said that Jet wanted to star in a pic where the wire work was put to a minimum. In fact, he had let his fans reach out to him on his website and suggest fighting styles for the new movie. And it came back that the majority of people wanted to see a more realistic tone this time around.
They watched all my old films, so they say they don't like the action sequences in Romeo Must Die because too choppy, not as good as my old film. I agree, the fans, the audience, what are they thinking? That I try to make this film without dragon. It's focused on the character and the story. Then, hardcore fighting.
And aside from a few moments, this movie accomplished that goal, hands down to me. They nailed it. The fights are nowhere near as stylized as some of his past outings and Hong Kong features, like Once Upon a Time in China, Legend of Feng Sayuk, even Tai Chi Master. The movie's set in Paris, and they shoot everything on location. Lee plays an investigator, Louis Jean, who is sent to arrest a Chinese mob boss, but ends up being framed for murder, and of course has to clear his name with the help of a local prostitute played by Bridget Fonda. The lead villain, the corrupt Paris detective Jean-Pierre, is played by Tcheky Karyo. And if you guys know Tcheky Karyo, you've seen him in many movies. In fact, I picked up Crying Freeman a few months ago to watch the movie finally with Mark Dacascos, and he's in that movie. But most people will probably know him in the original French version of La Femme Nikita or Nikita.
Pour le gouvernement.
Si je peux rendre service.
He starred in that movie, but he's been in plenty others. Bridget Fonda, in fact, spoke excitedly about her experience in the movie with Jet.
He's doing something that's absolutely real because he's the real deal. He's really a martial artist. He's really fast in real life. We're not talking special effects. We're not talking what the camera can make it look like.
Even though at that point she had already had limited experience in action filming Point of No Return, aka the Nikita remake. As mentioned, there was limited wire work. They use it very sparingly and only moments where they truly had to. But the one scene that pops out that most people will know right away is the pool table scene where Jet pops the pool ball out and then kicks it straight towards one of the people trying to shoot at him, which is great, knocks the guy out or kills him. That one was iconic because I think they blasted that when they were promoting the movie originally. I remember seeing that scene so many times. And by the way, it said that only 2 scenes required brush up and CGI work because at that time too, CGI work was limited. So you didn't have small budget movies really using CGI the way they do today.
No cable, no special effect, just hardcore fighting.
The fights are gritty and rough, and Li is put up against multiple amounts of Richard's goons where the odds are stacked against him, including a notable one with an enforcer for the prostitutes, who's played by a real-life boxer, I read. That's another good fight, by the way, so you check that one out as well. And what I really love about this movie, too, is the majority of the fights, Jet has to use his environment to his advantage. He's not just punching and kicking each time to win. It's not a superhero-style movie. He's basically just a police investigator or a law enforcement agent. So he's got to use a lot of things around his environment, weapons in his environment, brooms, mops, picks up rocks, kicks pool balls. I mean, it's a lot of fun to watch. Jackie Chan style.
Let's beat him up first.
Like using a lot of things from, his element to help him along the way in fighting. And especially when the odds are stacked up against him fighting bigger, faster, stronger people. I, as a Krav Maga practitioner, love stuff like that. Because we always say, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. And that goes doubly for this movie because when Li, who is basically like 5'5",
You're a lot shorter than I thought.
No.
You're just a little guy.
Goes up against these big, tall dudes, muscular dudes sometimes. You're just like, how the hell is he really actually going to win this fight? But when he finds ways to win, he 9 times out of 10 will use stuff in his environment. And it's like, okay, I could see that if he used this brick, let's say, and knocked this guy, and then he starts kicking him and punching him, it really makes a lot more sense versus him just going hand to hand against everybody that he beats. My favorite one, though, is the Climactic one with the twins, and they are credited in the movie as Twin 1 and Twin 2, who we'll talk about more specifically as we get into this fight scene. Twin 1 played by Cyril Raffaelli. You've seen him in films like Transporter, Brotherhood of the Wolf, and some others we'll talk about more specifically. And also Dieter Azule. I'm probably butchering his last name. Sorry, Dieter. Besides this film, though, I could only find Celestial Clock as another credit of his. So limited on that. The director, Chris Nahon, went on to say that Cory Yuen was the main director for all of the fight scenes, which, even though the director had input and would be on set too with Cory Yuen and his team set up the majority of the fights. They worked out all the choreography.
Honestly, he really was able to do that. When he fight between a few people, it's not fake.
To the credit of the director, he let Cory Yuen do his thing, and hats off to him for that. Well done, because the action speaks for itself. It's like one fight beat after another, and not just fighting for fighting's sake. Most of the fighting legitimately tells stories. It's not just I punch and kick just to punch and kick, as you'll see as you watch the movie.
Jet is very focused when he's shooting. Okay, he's also always thinking. When I was editing the movie, all the text was good, which is quite special.
Okay, now if you've never seen this amazing fight, this climactic fight, get ready as we have a little fun doing some commentary on it and breaking it down and reacting to it. I'll leave the link to the full fight down below, so if you guys want to watch it uninterrupted, feel free. Just know I am going to be doing a little commentary and breakdowns, so that means I will be stopping the video here and there to make comments and to pick apart different things that I think are worth you guys' time as an audience, especially since this is a Kung Fu channel and I want to talk specific Kung Fu moves and techniques. I'm going to turn this down just a little bit. There's background music, just copyright and all that. So again, there's Twin 1, Cyril Raffaelli. All right, and to give a little bit of background really fast, Jet Li's character, Lujan, has basically come to this police station where the corrupt cop, played by Tcheky Karyo, as I mentioned before, is at the top floor. And Jet Li's character has kind of gone through the precinct. He's fought multiple cops. There's a scene where he goes into a training session that the cops are having, and he's got to take out like 20 of the cops. It's a really great scene. He uses sticks in there. And he's gotten to this point now where it's Richard, the character Richard, the lead villain, is his main two guys, his main muscle, his last line of defense here are the twins. And they appear in the movie and do some other things, but they're used very sparingly. So he sees Twin 1, and then he'll see Twin 2. And by the way, the goal is he's come from the rest, like I said, he's come from the rest of the precinct. Now, this is the last hallway till he gets to the other side of this hallway where the door is at, where it's the office. So now Jet's like, all right, there's one and the other. I know they're both in the room. I got to get to the end of this room to get to Richard. I'm going to do this. Office set up. And there we go. Ooh, and we're off. Double kicks right away. Cyril Raffaelli, badass. This dude can kick and do some amazing stuff. Ooh, the back double flip kick. Oh, second twin got at him. Ooh, and the kick again. Side flip. Ooh, nice. Here we go, using your environment. Cyril's back flipping to get out of the way. Nice kick. Oh, double team action. All right. So when these guys are in tandem, and it shows parts in the movie where the two twins work together, and there's some comedic parts, but there's a part where the bigger twin raises up Bridget Fonda's character, and they've kind of established this rapport where the shorter twin, Cyril Raffaelli, is the faster one. Obviously, he does all the kicking and flipping and everything. He sets up to do a back spin kick and knock out the person that the taller twin or bigger twin is holding. And there's a mishap though when they try to do it with Bridget Fonda, but they've already established they do this in the movie together. Ow! So working in tandem, it's like you've got the muscle with the fast guy working together. It's the tag team action, and they're kicking Jet's ass at this point. Yeah, come here. It's like, nah, son, you come here. Yeah, get your ass over here. All right, flip over. Here we go. Clearly the kicker of the group, right? So Cyril's character is his strong suit is his kicks. Fun fact, he was trained in Shotokan karate and did some parkour and just a ton of acrobatics, as you can see. So multiple styles. He seems to be showing off, more of that, obviously parkour mixed with some of that Shotokan. So a lot of kicks. There we go. So Jet obviously uses his environment to his advantage again, gets him in a smaller space, and now Cyril's character can't use his kicks as easily, so he's got to be forced to use his hands, which, as we've seen already, Jet is a lot faster with his hands. Although he throws kicks, he's a stronger puncher, at least so far. By the way, quick other thing that I'm not sure if you guys noticed, Jet, the whole fight is in a southpaw stance. And Cyril's character is more in the Western boxing orthodox stance. So difference being, obviously, you've got right leg forward with Jet stance versus left leg back and southpaw, and Cyril's got the opposite. We'll talk a little bit more about why I think that was a specific choice. Nice. Sweet. Fake. Yeah, that fake, that hand up there, and then I hit you. It's a way of feinting. And by the way, fun fact, I use that in sparring because that shit works. Rope-a-dope style, basically. Nice. Hits him again. See, now you're on my turf. Now I just whooped your ass with my hands. Now he worked them. And by the way, since they were in that closed space, I was like, where was his boy? His boy didn't show up in there. I guess he didn't feel like jumping in. Nah, you come here. Now he's like, nah, you got me this time, but. Ooh, nice. There we go. Woo! Nice counter. There's the other twin, right? Oh, here we go again. But fool me once. Nah, son. Neck break. Damn. Yeah. That was the cool part of this. I have to go back for a second before we wrap this up, because again, when we start the second part of this fight and Cyril's character comes in, and by the way, you've seen Cyril Raffaelli and probably, like I mentioned before, Transporter, stunt guy mainly, not like a main player actor. Live Free, Die Hard, he was in that one. That's probably another big American production that you guys would probably notice him. I remember Bruce Willis called him like a hamster.
Damn hamster.
But anyway, in this scene, so again, Jet's in southpaw stance, and Cyril's character's in traditional orthodox, left leg forward, right leg back. So the Western philosophy is you got your power hand in the rear, you lead with the left. You get your power side, your backhand in the rear, and your back leg in the rear, because that's your power. The Jeet Kune Do or Bruce Lee philosophy says put your power side in front. So Bruce Lee's philosophy of closest weapon, closest target means I'm closer to you with my power side, so I'm going to have that forward. I'm closer to you with my right hand forward and my right leg forward than I am the opposite. So I'm putting my power in front of me. So there's just a difference in philosophy, I think, that they use here very well. I don't know if it's used here to kind of pay a little homage to Bruce Lee or a little nice little nugget, but either way it works. I think it's very cool. A little shift kick, little switch kick that Cyril does, kind of little fancy footwork to get him, and it works. Look, Jet looks down like, uh-oh, what are you about to do? So as he throws his kick, Jet moves, tries to block, and he sees an opening, and Jet comes right back up with that hook kick. It's like, nah, son, saw my opening, and I'm right there. And then as he comes in, then the other twin comes and takes advantage of that. Yep, lights out. Now the twin's mad. Now it's just pure force. Like, I'm about to knock you out. And of course, strength pound for pound, Jet's he's no match. But now we use a little finesse. Oh! Now I'm taking advantage. Oh, glass to the head. Oh, hook kick. Hook kick, all done. So good, just so good. And again, the fight tells a story, because Jet, like I said, had to make his way through the whole precinct. He comes out of that elevator, getting from point A to B, amazing, just the set of the scene. A couple highlights again, the kicks, as you get a little bit nerdy, the kicks that Cyril uses is of note to me, because double kicks, very much like Taekwondo style. Easy parrying. And back spin kicks, more like a back crescent kick to me than a back hook or a back heel kick, which is more Taekwondo, Korean style martial arts. Cyril's using more of a back crescent. So maybe that's a Shotokan thing. See, that's more of like a back crescent than a back heel. Interestingly enough, in Kung Fu, we don't really use the back. When it comes to the spinning kicks, you don't see a whole lot of back spinning hooks or spinning heel kicks that you see a lot in movies. And those are Taekwondo based. Those are more Korean martial art style based and used in more Japanese karate and things like that. Chinese martial arts, we've got a lot of spinning, tornado kicks, crescent kicks, butterfly kicks, things like that. This is why Jet doesn't use that kick at all. He uses a hook kick towards the end, but he doesn't do the back spin kicks in this movie. But Jet himself, as you know, is very athletic. Not quite as much as Cyril. And the whole thing, obviously, with this is, advantage you. You're more acrobatic than me, and you kick like a freaking whirling dervish, but I shut you down here by using the environment to my advantage, and you're only able to really punch, which is not your strong suit. Now we're on my terms. The fight's turning on my terms because I'm using my hands, and I'm faster, especially when I use my hands. And now I got you on the ropes. So yeah, Great fight. All right, well, as it turns out, during the process of finishing this video, unfortunately, we found out about the passing of Tcheky Karyo, who, as mentioned before, was the lead villain in this movie. He played Richard.
This little man can, break 25 people at once.
And as I'll show you here, his body of work was immense. So please don't only judge him with his performance in this movie. He's got so many others that he was great in.
Karyo was known as a versatile actor whose career spanned multiple countries and languages. Born in Istanbul and raised in France, he was of Spanish Sephardic Jewish descent. His film career spanned major Hollywood productions to European films steeped in artistic significance.
And well done, sir. Rest in peace. Condolences and prayers to the friends and family of this late great actor. But that said, now's a great time to remind you all to give the video a much needed like. Costs you guys nothing, but it means the world to me and helps me with this whole algorithm grind. It is that and then some. Go ahead and share the video so it gets out to more people like yourselves who enjoy this type of content. And check me on all of my other socials that I'll leave around here so that you guys can get more exclusive behind the scenes content. By the way, I'm probably going to end up calling the series Breakdown and a Beatdown, where we, yes, break down martial arts movies, as well as talk about my favorite fight scenes from them and break them down. Speaking of which, what are your favorite Jet Li movies? Let me know in the comments and maybe we'll check them out in a future video. Okay, while you're here, check out another Kung Fu related video that you'll enjoy over here. Guys, Kiss of the Dragon. Hope I summed it up well enough so that you'll be motivated to check the movie out for yourselves if you haven't already, or revisit the movie. Stay safe. See you all in the next round and keep punching.
Look at this one. Look at that one. Look at this one. Look at that one. Look, are you kidding?